Alright, so today we're going to take a look at Solidworks. We are currently running Solidworks 2012-2013. This tutorial will apply all the way back to Solidworks 2008 that I'm sure of. May go to previous versions as well. When you open Solidworks, the first thing you're going to get is this gray background area, alright, as well as this design library down the right side. The top will show file through help. If it doesn't, there's a little pin right here. You could check or uncheck that pin depending on if you have those menus showing. That's the first step to getting this stuff going. In SolidWorks, if we hit File New, you're going to have an option of 3 different pieces that you could work on, either a part, assembly, or drawing. If you see a different view, it's possible that you could be in the Advanced section. You can hit the Novice down here to switch back to this category. In most cases, you're going to work through this order, part to assembly to drawing. So for the time being, we're going to click on part, and I'm going to hit OK. When SolidWorks opens, you're going to see a blank sheet with a couple of panes, okay, as well as some stuff down the left-hand side here. Okay, these views down the left-hand side directly correspond to the normal drawing planes that we would have in an orthographic projection. So if you've been working on two-dimensional orthographic projection, you should be very familiar with a front view, a top view, and a right side view. These directly correspond to those views. So if we're working on drawing an object from the top view first, you need to select the top plane to create this. If you're working from the front view, you would work from the front view. That's a very important fact that plays a key role in your drawing later on down the road. For the time being, we don't need to worry about a material, but you do need to worry about your planes. Okay? So for this particular drawing, I'm going to start on the front plane. I'm going to click on the front plane, and you see that it automatically becomes selected. If you wish, we can square up to that plane by either hitting spacebar and selecting front, or we could come to this and simply hit the front view, all right, under our view orientation. I prefer the spacebar and front view. Up on the top here, you'll see a series of tabs. There's the features, the sketch, evaluate, so on and so forth. We're going to start in the sketch tab. Okay? Everything you create in SolidWorks, although it be a 3-dimensional component, must start with 2-dimensional lines. Okay? So if I wish to draw a rectangular prism, I need to start with some sort of rectangle to begin with. Okay? So I'm going to simply create a rectangle for now that's on my front plane. And once I've created that rectangle that looks like the proportions are accurate, and that's what I'm looking for, I can go ahead and accept the sketch or finish the sketch and move over to my features tab to extrude this. The extrusion is one of the most basic solid commands that will add depth to our 2-dimensional sketch. So I can hit extrude boss and base and click on my sketch that I want to extrude. You see it automatically turns to the isometric view and gives me a little handle in which I can pull out to certain dimensions on my ruler here. So I'm looking for 1.5 inches. I could pull this to 1.5, and that would be extruded 1.5. All right. The other option is I can simply come over here and directly type in my distance of my extrusion, 3.5 inches, and I will go ahead and check this off. You'll see now that I've created a rectangular prism. If I wish to orient this in free space or move it in free space, I can simply depress the center button on my mouse and drag at the same time. That will allow me to move this in 3-dimensional space. Extrusions can be built upon base material or boss material. So base material can be built off of the boss, which is the original component. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a face in which I want to sketch on. So if I want to add on to this top here, and it's important to go ahead and say let's front view. Well, I know that's my top. So if I want to add on my top view, I can click on my top view, say I want to sketch, and let's sketch a circle. So I'll place my circle, 2-dimensional sketch. I'll accept it. Features, and I'm going to extrude that circle a certain distance. Let's go 3.5 again. Check it off, and we can navigate around to take a look. That's the additive process of how we want to add material. If you wish to subtract material, it's the same process where I select a face, I can normal to that face, or I can look at it directly from the left view. Okay? And I sketch a shape that I want to remove. So if this is my shape that I want to remove, I can then features, extrude cut instead of extrusion. We're going to extrude cut and remove this material either from a certain depth or through the entire material. You'll notice on the left-hand side, every time I create something, it becomes a feature in my feature design tree. All right, my first boss is here, second boss, and my extruded cut. Okay? You'll notice that the sketches become contained directly under that boss. So my first sketch, which was the rectangular prism, is directly contained under this extrusion. If I want to edit that sketch for whatever reason, I need to expand this boss, find the sketch, right-click, and edit the sketch. That will allow me to change the dimensions here, modify this, which would then be updated down the road.